I always go back to 1995 in Beijing, how the power of women from the grassroots, from people up there like Hillary, how we connected. We connected and we had the power, the passion, and the duty to come back home and continue the work of Beijing.
She was so inspiring. For me, it was the very first time I was part of the international community of women that care for the same issues as I did.
If there is one message that echoes forth from this conference, let it be that human rights are women's rights and women's rights are human rights.
And women's rights are human rights. Those words stayed with me. And when I talked to even the Prime Minister about women's rights are human rights, he said, "This is nonsense." I said, "That's not nonsense. In Beijing, we talked about it."
I think Hillary's message was universal to all women. It broke cultural barriers. When I met her at the White House, when she was then First Lady, and she said that no woman's voice is too low and no woman is incapable of futuring her society, she gave us hope. She told us that every single voice should be heard, and that's when Vital Voices was started. And I think we took that message back with us, whether myself to Kuwait or others to other parts of the world. We felt that we had to have our voices heard. We couldn't be the silent majority.
Perhaps the important thing to say about Hillary is this. She set a standard for what leadership could be as exercised by a powerful woman in the world. And it was about standards of service and standards of behaviour. She didn't do this when it was easy and when it was safe. She has been my friend now for over a decade. Much of the work that I'm doing now has been lauded, but she stood beside me when it was not.
I think she's a groundbreaker. She demonstrated that you must fight for what you believe in, and I know without a doubt that I'm a beneficiary of her amazing legacy.
I was in Russia when I found out that Hillary is going to run for president, and I cannot tell you how many women called me, emailed me, and said, if you can give her our support, we are all for her. All women's movement in Russia was for her. Because I think she represented a chance for so many women around the world.
And when somebody like Hillary turns that light on and says, I want to listen to you, I want to see what you're about, I want to see what your life story is, I think that not just transforms the world listening to the story, but transforms the woman realizing that her story is important and that she has something to give to the world.
The inspiration is a two-way street. I think that as much as Mrs. Clinton inspires us, I think we, the women of the world, inspire Mrs. Clinton as well. That's why in her speeches, in her agenda, her issues, we see our lives there.
That's the part of Hillary Clinton that not very many people know. And I really deeply appreciate that we came to know it. And that's why we love her, because she's one of us.